Alright guys, so we're back with another lifestyle player review, and today we've got the new Scream Hero Matuidi card. Real quick guys, my name's Wottsy. If you enjoy these player reviews, make sure to leave a sub so that I can stop funding these with my credit card. And I also review a lot of these players live on Twitch most nights, so if you want to come through to chat or suggest a player for me to review, link will be in the description. What's interesting about this Matuidi is they've added Jockey Plus as a playstyle. He doesn't even have this as a base playstyle on his normal card. They haven't replaced any of his playstyles, they've just added another one. Now a lot of people have said that he's really good. His standard hero card, it covers ground really quick, it feels hyper responsive in game, really good for intercepting and cutting the passing lanes. So to have Jockey Plus added should only improve this, so I'm excited to try him out. He should also really fit this current meta of controlling your CDMs and controlling your center mids and running them back and letting your back four be controlled by the AI. We'll have a quick look at his card overview and then talk a bit more about his stats and his playstyles. So he's 5'11", which is probably a good height. Obviously you've got shorter center defensive midfielders like Kante that run around like a whippet and they cut the passing lanes up really nicely, but hopefully Matuidi is just as responsive as that sort of player. On the flip side, you've got taller center defensive mids and holding midfielders like Vieira. Their long legs will intercept the passing lanes, but they might feel a bit more sluggish and less responsive. So I think 5'11" should be nice for this card. He's also got the controlled running type, which is definitely going to be better than lengthy. Explosive would probably be my preferred for a holding midfielder because they're quick off the mark, which makes them really responsive and good for intercepting passes in the midfield. Lengthy is really good for when you're at full sprint. It makes them cover ground faster, they have bigger stride lengths, but it just takes them longer to get up to top speed. Controlled sits right in the middle, so we'll take that over lengthy for this style of player. 3-star, 3-star obviously isn't the best, but I'm not going to be using this guy as an attacking player. I'm going to have him holding deep in the midfield. He can only play centre mid and CDM, and then if we take a quick look at his stats, he's got really good pace, higher acceleration as well, so again, good off the mark for cutting out the danger. Shooting is really bad, no point trying to boost it with a chem style in my opinion. Long shots aren't viable at all this year, so just don't shoot outside the box with him. And even if you put a chem style that boosts his shooting on him, his finishing is still going to be really lackluster. I typically like to use chem styles to boost what a player is already good at, so in this instance you could say Anchor because he's got good pace, good defending, good physical. However, I've actually gone with a Backbone because his passing is on the fence, it's low 80s, and I want to maximize that as much as I can whilst also still keeping his defending and physical as good as it can be. Passing is dragged down a little bit by his free kicks. I'm obviously not going to be using this guy for free kicks, and I don't think I'll get into a position to cross with him. Short passing is what I'm most interested in here, and that's 86, obviously boosted a little bit with the chem style as well, so could be a bit better, but we're not complaining. Defending again, all kind of high 70s, low 80s, apart from reactions. If we're gonna pick one for this card, we probably want reactions to be higher. Reactions and composure are two stats that underpin all other stats in different scenarios of the game, and obviously reactions going to be really useful for interceptions. And speaking of interceptions, he's got 92, that's the same as Vieira, and 88 stand tackle as well, also being a standout stat in this column. You'd rather have higher stand tackle than slide tackle for your midfielders. If you do slide in midfield and it doesn't come off, you've left a massive hole there and you've left yourself exposed for an attack. Heading accuracy obviously isn't great, but I don't care too much about that because normally if the ball's being pinged over the top, it goes to the defenders anyway. And then his physical is really, really good. So really good strength, really good aggression, but stamina at 92, that's really important because you're going to want to be having this guy run around all game like a headless chicken, trying to cut the passing lanes up, intercept every ball, get to every second ball, and the last thing you want is his stamina draining as a result of this. Playstyles then, obviously he's got that Jockey Plus, but he's also got intercept. So these two in combination with each other, especially in this AI defense meta where you control the CDM or the holding midfielder and sprint around trying to intercept the ball, these two are going to be really good for that because he's going to have the intercept animations, but he's also going to have a really fast jockey speed. So that only improves your chances of intercepting the ball. Pinged pass, he keeps this. If I had it my way, I'd have him with Tiki Taka. Obviously we know incisive pass is really useful as well this year, but that's more reserved for sort of your cams, so playing in the strikers or the wingers. But I'll be leaning into this as much as possible. If you want to know how to activate a pinged pass, it's R1X, or if you're on Xbox, it's R1A, and that basically just improves his accuracy of doing a low driven ground pass. He's also got anticipate, again improves the standing tackle, and then you've got press proven, which basically helps with ball retention, really helpful for when you do make an interception and he's got the ball at his feet and you need to get out of that tight space. Then you've got quick step, really good for a responsive type of player that you're trying to get to cut the passing lanes really quick in reaction to a pass. And then he's also got relentless, which I feel is overlooked by a lot of people. The last thing you want to be doing is subbing off your midfielders or any defensive players towards the end of the game. You want to keep that reserved for attackers and wingers, people who are going to influence the scoreline more. So relentless is really good because it basically just complements the stamina. That stamina bar drains a lot slower when you've got this playstyle, so it's a really important one to have, especially for your midfielders. Then onto the roles, he's got ++ in holding as a CDM or a centre mid. That's how I'm going to be using him, and that's really, really good this year. Basically means they stay holding in that pocket of space. He's also got ++ as a box-to-box in midfielder, midfielder, but I don't really like the thought of that because his shooting is so bad. Passing isn't the best, and the 3-star. I don't really want him attacking in and around the box. And this is the team we're going to be using him in, so onto the gameplay clips. First impressions for Matuidi on the ball. Do a driven pass into feet. Okay, it gets intercepted. It wasn't really on though. We'll try one now. There we go. So nearly getting an assist off the back of it. Like I said, long shots don't really work this year. But as you can see, he's only got 78 long passing, but the pinged pass really improves the accuracy of that. Okay, so a nice interception from Matuidi there, and he does retain the ball afterwards. Maybe that's the press proven. Okay, so Matuidi wins a header. So first impressions of Matuidi's jockey speed. As you can see it activating, and we break up the play. So feels really responsive and really good. Okay, so controlling Matuidi, and again, he cuts the danger out. His stand tackle feels really good. I didn't actually press anything, so it kind of auto-defended, but obviously that's good. The cheaper players and the lower-rated players don't do that. Oh, Matuidi again. So I ran him into the pocket and he intercepts perfectly. Another interception from Matuidi. He's been all over the place this game. I think where I'm coming unstuck is I'm trying to evo my Camavinga, so I'm using two very similar players. I've got no playmaker. So really impressed with Matuidi in the first game. Intercepted a lot and the stand tackle was really good into the second. Okay, Matuidi. Always hold R1 when you pass the ball with him. Okay, so you see how fast Matuidi covers ground in the middle of the park. Managed to cut off the passing lane to the striker. Wow, again, so Matuidi using his strength. Nice from Matuidi. So, opinions so far on Matuidi. This is exactly how I'm going to keep using him. Just circling in front of the back four, trying to cut out the passing lanes, making sure no dangers get through. But he's not the best on the ball. But again, we predicted that at the start. Perfectly predicted there, Matuidi. Got the ball with Matuidi, charging out defence. Use the ping pass to release it. Great hassling from Matuidi. He moves so fast. Obviously on the ball not great, but off the ball he literally flies around the pitch. Oh, Matuidi. Although I feel like he could have taken that interception into control, but he wins it back eventually anyway, so no complaints. Matuidi. He's always covering so much ground.
He read it well defensively. Nico Williams.
Lovely from Matuidi. And keeps the ball. And then released with the ping pass as well.
See at the moment.
It's just first to every ball.
Well, this is looking good.
Oh, Matuidi, lovely. I didn't slide then. That was a manual an automatic animation. That one was manual. Matuidi again. Matuidi. So final thoughts on Matuidi then as we look at the team that we used him in. I probably didn't get the most out of him. I was trying to evo this Camavinga at the same time as using Matuidi. Both very similar players, and if you notice I actually put Jockey Plus on Camavinga before I did the evo. So Matuidi didn't really stand out, and if I'm being totally honest, Camavinga was just as good as him, if not better, because when he got the ball he was better on it. So the all important question, is Matuidi worth that price tag? He felt really good, don't get me wrong, and he's got great links. He brings in your French league players and gives them chemistry, and he's always going to be on max chemistry. But I just think at that massive price tag there's so many better options. This sounds like an exaggeration, but because he wasn't the best on the ball or the best at passing, Kante is honestly just as good as this guy, and he has intercept plus. So the answer is no, I wouldn't pay for this Matuidi card. Now I can't really compare him to the normal version of Matuidi. I don't know if that version of Matuidi still moves very well without the Jockey Plus, but I imagine they're pretty similar, and that one is less than half the price of this one. So if you are going to buy a Matuidi, I would say just go for the normal version and save your coins. Will he be staying in my team? No.